This is your first COP. What's the question you've been asked most at COP in the last few days, either from other business people or customers?
I think I'm being asked here the most, how do you arrive at green steel?
So one of the things we've reported this week at the Financial Times is that not a single large US company CEO is here, for example, and that points to the sort of geopolitical tensions, and quite a lot of everything has changed. What's been the sort of stable factors and the changing factors?
Well, Outokumpu is 115 years old next year,
Right.
so there's been a lot of change in Outokumpu's past, but I think what is very typical for Nordic companies is that they sustain. So we have a lot of companies that have a long history, have evolved through that history, and Outokumpu also has been a mining company in different metals and then become a big stainless steel company around the world. So yes, the geopolitical tensions, the trade tensions, they've been a big part of the last year and unexpected in that sense.
How do you do stable planning in an unstable policy environment?
Well, we do our best, and we like using the word smart decarbonization, because we need to, of course, make sure that when we decarbonize, we use current technology and we use means that also make financial sense. We are in a business in the end, we are stock listed company, so we also need to deliver our result. So carbonizing in a smart way, I think is really important. But this is of course where policy making also comes into the picture. It's important for us that we know in what kind of investment climate we have, and what we're also hoping that there's a price for carbon. So whether it's coming from the lead markets, that we get more benefit from our green products, or then that we get support in developing technology that helps to decarbonize, or then get benefit from the green energy we are able to use. So we do need that government policy as well to make sure that green transition doesn't stop but goes forward. We are the number 2 in the US, so we are somehow benefiting from the fact that there are tariffs locally.
Right.
But then if you look at what the impact is for more Asian imports to Europe and the whole European industry, I think in a total picture it's not a good thing.
Okay, so you've got these difficulties in the US, you've got a cheap Asian or lower cost, maybe not cheap, lower priced Asian imports and weak demand in Europe. How do you do planning? Do you say, okay, well, we won't do any more in America for now until we see what pans out the next 3 years?
No, well, we published our new strategy in the summer. It's called Evolve, so further evolving as a company. And what you do is you try to build as much as competitiveness and resilience in your current business, and that's what we're doing in standard stainless steel. But we also need to look for growth opportunities, and we are doing 2 paths. We are expanding more to advanced materials, means that you have higher margins, less cyclicality, there are less players, and Outokumpu has a good opportunity to win. And then the other thing is the technology side. So we are developing proprietary technology that kind of leads us to green metals, which is very exciting. So we hope that in the next 2 years' time, we're able to scale up this technology and also so that it's cost competitive. And that could be a technology we could maybe license and help other metal companies to use raw materials that today are not economically possible to use. And this is what the world needs, because we are in the need of minerals and metals in all parts of the world, and definitely in the Western world.
What has been the role of Europe and Brussels? I know you've had interaction with Brussels in response to this competition from China and threats from the US on even higher tariffs.
Yeah, I think what is good that the Commission and especially the Industry Commissioner Séjourné, they have seen that how important steel industry is to keep in Europe.
Right.
For Europeans' independence, for its defense industry, for its infrastructure, mobility and all that. And that is why they came in the spring this year with the Metal and Steel Action Plan. And what is now coming out of it is that we are waiting, Commission has made the proposal for better safeguards for Europe, and hopefully those decisions then start being made towards now the end of the year, beginning of next year. And that would then replace the safeguards that are valid until next summer. So that's important. Mm-hmm. Another thing is, of course, the carbon border adjustment mechanism will start in January next year. And that is, of course, important for companies like that. We have made this roadmap of decarbonization, and our carbon footprint is so much lower than the industry average. And if you compare some of the Asian producers, it's 90% lower. And where that difference really comes, we use that scrap in Europe. And for instance, Indonesian melters in stainless steel, they use nickel pig iron. Right. So Europe would also lose its total kind of a, let's say, advanced position in sustainable steel if they would let that go. So that's why it's important that we get policies that support decarbonized products. And one thing what we would like to also see that our customer industries would also become part of the CBAM, because we want our customer industries that are steel intensive also to stay in Europe.
One thing I wanted to ask you was about the role of the customer in this situation. You know, what the customer is looking for. Is the customer essentially looking much more for stability than for innovation, or what are the trade-offs that they're asking for? Are they asking for more information about their own carbon footprint through yours?
No, I think our customers, and definitely like-minded customers, they know that big part of their carbon footprint is actually in the raw materials. And when Outokumpu is then the steel producer and supplier to them, whatever we can do to help them decarbonize is very important for them. Then I think also, stainless steel is not just one product. There are a lot of different products, and you have more metal alloys in products that need to endure a very high corrosion or resistance, for instance, because of temperatures or salty locations or whatever. And I think the expertise we have in that area, how we can advise our customers to use the technically best possible product for their end use, I think that's an important collaboration as well. And anything we can bring through technology and innovation, they're definitely interested to hear.
I mean, you've touched on something that's possibly one of the hottest topics at COP, certainly in the past week amongst the governments, which is this challenge to the carbon border adjustment mechanism, the way the EU envisages. Do you think that the EU will be able to hold the line from your interactions?
So we've been pushed and asked to decarbonize, and also steel industry worldwide is probably responsible for 10% of the emissions. But we also bring the solutions. Right. So if this doesn't happen, you would really feel cheated that there is no price for carbon in the end.